Yo, what is going on, guys? I've got an Imperialdramon green profile for you guys today. This is a very fun deck to play in the 1.5 meta, and I even adjusted this for the restrictions post-April 1st, including the 1 copy of HPD as well as the 1 copy of Argomon level 5. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for the level 3s for the rookies, a pretty standard lineup. I'm of course playing 4 copies of Agumon because having the 1000 gain is always nice, especially because your whole goal, your whole focus in this deck is to get Imperialdramon out and just start attacking over your opponent's Digimon. And then I'm playing a lot of 2-drop rookies. I'm playing 3 copies of Goblimon as well as 4 copies of Argomon level 3. Again, these are just nice cheap alternatives to your other guys. Not playing too many inherited effects in this deck. And then also just 2 copies of Wormmon here. Wormmon's really nice because he has an on-deletion effect, which is kind of peculiar for a green level 3, for a green Digimon. But being able to, you know, look at the top cards of your deck and reveal a level 4 or 5, add one of those to your hand, is pretty good, especially when digging for your combo pieces. And then the last rookie here is 2 copies of Arurumon because, well, at first glance, this card kind of sucks because it has a 2 evolution cost for a rookie, which is pretty shit, but the fact that it's 5,000 DP is pretty crazy. Like, pre-ban list, a lot of people would play multiple copies of this card because you could just suspend it with HPD and, you know, it would probably survive the next turn because it is 5,000. You just really want to play this card from your hand. I'm still playing this card because the Digisorption targets are still, they still work very well with Arurumon. So that's it for the rookies. And for the champions, I'm playing, of course, your 4 copies of Woodmon. So before the starter deck, before we get the 1 cost evolution blockers, I think Woodmon is definitely still a staple. 4 copies of Stingmon because your goal, again, is to attack over your opponent's Digimon, and being able to gain a memory every single time you do that is pretty crazy. So it makes the memory management of green that's already good even better. And then we got 4 copies of Gargomon here. Gargomon is basically the same thing as Kabuterimon, like BT1 Kabuterimon, except the only difference is that Gargomon is a 5 play cost, not a 6, 1 evolution cost, so super cheap, and he gains, he gives the Digimon on top of him 1,000 for each of your opponent's suspended Digimon. So you can make your Imperialdramon, who's already 12,000, pretty big, sometimes even strong enough to attack over a Ragnalord or an Omnimon. Now for the other Digimon, for the level 5s, I'm playing, of course, the Digisorption targets. Now this is an Imperialdramon deck, so you might argue like you should play Dino B and Pyldramon. I am actually playing Dino Bmon, but in this specific version, I'm also playing other green level 6s, so I don't feel that Pyldramon is the most consistent choice. Also, the fact that Digisorption nets you a plus, like it saves you 3 memory, is just so powerful when you're talking about like your Imperialdramon or any of your other level 6s here, that you can basically just go on up into them for such a low cost. And of course, I do still think Dino Bmon is worth playing. I'm playing 3 copies of him. The jamming piercing combo is super good, especially when you can rest your opponent's Digimon, maybe with something like a Flower Cannon or Giga Blaster, or even like bait out their blockers by running into your their security with like one of your lower guys and then Digivolving him and then, you know, attacking over it. And then I'm also playing just 1 copy of Argomon level 5 because, again, he's limited, but Argomon's just the best Digisorption target, being able to get that 3 memory, and not only that, but he does also have that really solid inherited effect. So that's it for the ultimates. Then for the megas, for the level 6s, I'm playing, of course, 4 copies of Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. This is the Virus Imperialdramon. He has Piercing, which is always super nice on green Digimon because that combos off with a lot of the green effects, being able to rest your opponent's Digimon. Not only that, but once per turn, if he kills something, you get to unsuspend him. So the potential to attack multiple times in a single turn, destroy multiple Digimon. He's already like he's kind of like, what was that card called? Dimension Scissors. He's basically like a Dimension Scissors on legs. So it's pretty crazy. Not only that, but then we also got 2 copies of Mega Gargomon. Mega Gargomon is super good because he's basically a Puppetmon, but you don't have to play an 11 cost Digimon from your hand. You can just evolve him, and like I said, with the Blossomon, with the Digisorption targets, that makes this evolution even cheaper, and you don't really have to worry about him being suspended if your opponent's Digimon can't attack to begin with. So not only that, but then he also lets you push for game because he does have that security attack bonus. And then we got the Game Ender bunch of Stingmon here, who you know, your opponent needs to watch out for this card, because if they forget that this card exists and they got an Omnimon, the suspended Omnimon or something, that can, you know, this card can win you games. So I think 1 copy is fine. So that's it for the Digimon. And then for the other cards here, I am playing a couple Tamers. So I'm playing 2 copies of Ken because, well, first of all, I think, you know, after the restrictions, after the ban list, I think playing Tamers is a little bit better in green, whereas before you really didn't need it. But having the 3 memory every single turn is nice, and then of course he has that same effect as Stingmon, where whenever you kill something, gain a memory. So sometimes you can gain like 2-3 memory in a single turn, especially if you do get multiples of him out. And then 1 copy of Davis. I think Davis is still good because, you know, you get to just search through your deck, and I'm not playing any blue Digimon in this deck. You could definitely like maybe mix in a blue Imperialdramon or Imperialdramon or something, but I think 1 Davis is fine just for the searching. And then I'm also playing 2 Giga Blaster. Now you could swap this out with Flower Cannon. I kind of like Giga Blaster because you get the potential to suspend 2 Digimon, like if they have you know, some weaker guys on field, and the fact that Imperialdramon can attack twice potentially if you run over something first. I think that combos really well with Imperialdramon, so that's why I prefer Giga Blaster. And then I think, you know, going forward in the BT4 meta and stuff, we're gonna see a lot more of the 5,000 DP 1 cost blockers. So this can actually suspend up to 2 blockers, you know, assuming we get that far. But yeah, I do really like Giga Blaster. I think it's really good. Now for the replacement for HPD, of course, we've still got the 1 copy. There's no reason not to play this. This card is still ridiculous. You know, being able to cheat 5 memory every single turn just by suspending something is absolutely bonkers. And then I got Smashed Potatoes here. I'm kind of testing this out. I think this card's pretty okay. It's basically a replacement for HPD. It's a 2 cost, so clearly not as good. It also doesn't have security effects, so if you know, if your opponent hits in security, kind of sucks. But for the turn, if you would Digivolve one of your green Digimon from 5 to 6, decrease that cost by 4. So it basically makes, like, if you're going Dino B to Imperialdramon, it makes that evolution a 2 cost, right? Because you're paying 2 for the Smashed Potatoes, so you still net 1 memory there. And then if you're going like, you know, a Digisorption target on top of Imperialdramon, that's a 1 cost evolution. That's 3 total. But you also skip the 3 from your, you know, your ultimate here. So you basically went from Champion to Mega for a total cost of 3, which is pretty crazy. So I still think this card has its merit, hence why I'm playing it. And then for the Digi-Eggs, I'm just playing 4 copies of Minamon and 1 copy of Argomon. So guys, that's going to be the list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Any suggestions are welcome. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.